Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. Great to have you here on a weekend. Today is episode 1369, and we are going to be going over part one of our Cabral House Calls. If you're new to the show, each and every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, I answer our community's questions. We do the show 7 days a week just to make sure that we are getting as much information as we can out to everyone, especially at this current time. That means all things wellness, weight loss, anti-aging, mindset, going over the de-stress protocol of diet and exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest, emotional balance, supplement protocols that have been proven by science, and success mindset, which I believe many of us could use right now. So what I want to do is I want to dive right into the questions, but as you know, and I hope that you know, you can get questions to your answers almost 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, right over at our Facebook group, cabralsupportgroup.com. Now, it's we can't go over lab assessments. That's not what it's meant to do, but we really do have something for everybody, and I want you to know that. So it's completely complimentary. My health coaching team is right over there, cabralsupportgroup.com. And you can ask questions. You can ask questions of the community. There's well over 8,000 people in that group. It's an amazing group of people. You can also do a lab assessment call, or should say selection call, if you have questions about which lab to run and you know that you want to run one. It's basically a free lab selection call. I think it's a $49 deposit and you get the money right back to put towards any lab of your choice. That's over at equilibriumnutrition.com. And of course, if you want me to answer your question, well, you just write in at stephencabral.com/ask Cabral. So just know that when you do write in, it's going to be about 8 weeks before I'm able to answer that question. So just kind of always know where to ask the appropriate question. And if it's customer service, the best place for that is support at equilibriumnutrition.com. So again, we're here to help. We really are. But now that we have well over 100,000 people in our community, our global health family, that I just want you to be able to get the help that you need. And the reason I'm saying that is because as I'm doing my intro right now, I'm reading over the first question. Remember, my team doesn't see these questions. I don't see these questions until I read them. I just open up the document, I sit down, I turn record on the podcast microphone, and that's it. That's literally, there's no prep, there's nothing like that. This is me answering your questions raw, just as if you were asking me it right across on a Skype consultation, or we were at an event and you said, hey, I have this question about this, and I would just give you my raw answer. And that is just based, again, on 20 plus years of working with clients, of my team and me overseeing over 250,000 appointments, and being able to answer well over 5,000 of our community's questions just on these Cabral House Calls. So love to be able to share that with you. And the reason I say that is the first question today is from Donna. Donna writes in, hello, Dr. Cabral team. I just had a consultation call with Erica and already sent an email of questions. I didn't want to overdo it, but I have a few more. I'm about to start the CBO protocol, and I wanted to know if it is allowed to wash my greens in vinegar if rinsed well. Also, is it okay to add pure cocoa powder to the morning nutritional support shake during the protocol? Respectfully, Donna C. Donna C., thank you for writing in. This is one of those questions where, and that's kind of part of my intro, is that I just want to make sure that you're getting your questions answered. That's it. So Donna, the issue is you wrote in on March 25th. Well, today is May 23rd. And so it being May 23rd, I just want to make sure that, it's been 8 weeks that you got your question answered. So it does say on the Ask Cabral page, I just want you to know that it does say that it will be about 8 weeks before your question's answered, and that we're not able to look at these. It's not a customer service-based response. And because it has for any type of business to basically be able to handle all of the questions, it has to just be directed to the people that can help you the most. So when people are writing in the comments on Instagram or Facebook or this or that, I would say probably get 1,000 comments, questions, emails every single day. So the best thing that you can always do is you can just email support@equilibriumnutrition.com. That's our customer service. Or you could simply write it inside of cabralsupportgroup.com. All right. So either way, that's a free Facebook group. That it will definitely be seen. But again, I want to be fair. Sometimes I wrote a post on Instagram a year and a half ago, and someone will leave a comment on that post, and I'll just never see it. It's not that I don't want to see it, but a year and a half ago, that means it was 500 posts ago. And, again, with hundreds of comments, you're just going to miss them. And so I just want people to be able to get the help that they need. So to answer your question, though, I'm sure you already heard it answered. But yes, you can wash your veggies in apple cider vinegar and water. That's a nice mix that I've talked about before in a previous podcast. Not a problem at all. You just rinse it well. And that way there's nothing fermentable for the gut. And then can you add the cocoa powder? Well, as long as you don't have histamine issues, and as long as there's no sugar in the cocoa powder, then yeah, not a problem at all. And again, you can always do the daily nutritional support, which already has that in it. You can just choose the chocolate flavor. All right, Monique's up next. Hello. When I was 16, I was diagnosed with rheumatic fever, which enlarged my heart. However, my heart eventually went back to size. Fast forward to my early 30s, and I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I tried a lot of natural remedies, including raw vegan, but eventually it got so bad I was hospitalized. Therefore, I saw a conventional doctor and have been on RA meds since. Fast forward again to my 40s. A year after having my first child, I was diagnosed with PH and PAH. I was told I have a lot of connective tissue that leans heavily on RA, but I do have the RNP gene that connects to lupus to PH. With PH, in addition to pills, I have an IV drug that pumps into my heart 24/7. My question is, considering PH is a terminal condition that doesn't have a cure and only affects 10% of people in the world, how can your program assist me? All right. Well, this is one of those good times to basically say we do not diagnose, treat, or cure any diseases. So I just want you to know, neither my podcast, nor my wellness practice, nor Equilibrium Nutrition, nor anything we do does do those types of things. So for those people unfamiliar, basically our friend here, name is Monique, had rheumatic fever when she was younger. She has rheumatoid arthritis in her 30s. By the way, there's probably no connection between your rheumatic fever and your rheumatoid arthritis. Sounds similar, but probably not. And then now we're at lupus with RA as well. But remember, they're autoimmune-based conditions, right? So with autoimmune conditions, I've done so many podcasts on them. Remember, we're not going to treat lupus. We're not going to treat rheumatoid arthritis. It's just not what we do. But also, no doctor should do that. I understand you're on drugs. You're most likely on Humira or some type of biological-based drug. Maybe you're doing Remedicaid or some infusions or whatever it might be. But here's the thing. None of that actually works as to why you had it in the first place. So if you go back and you listen to my previous podcast on autoimmune issues, you'll understand if you read the rain barrel effect that there is an accumulation effect, right? So over your life, you're filling up that rain barrel and it gets worse and worse and worse. Now, you say that there's no cure and that it's terminal. Well, we all have a terminal condition, and I'm not trying to make light of this, but terminal condition is that typically around 74 years old for men and 77 for women. So all of us need to just keep pushing that terminal condition further and further back. And now, again, not making light of the situation, but here's the thing. Many people in your condition have healed. So if they've healed, why can't you, Monique? Why can't you? So let's look at some real underlying root causes. Do you have gut issues? Do you have CBO? Do you have H. pylori? That's a huge one attributed to rheumatoid as well. Do you have heavy metal? Do you have parasites? Do you have higher levels of omega-6s to omega-3s? Do you have increased intestinal permeability? What specifically is it? Do you have herpes? Do you have a specific type of virus that can worsen this? So there's many different types of things, and then you just keep going. Okay, well, I can get rid of the metals, I can get rid of the viruses, I can get rid of the gut-based issues. So that's our job, right? Our job is to say, let's put the body in the position to heal so the body can heal itself. So Monique, can't recommend enough going back to the previous shows, writing the big 5 if you're able to, add the bacterial stool parasite test to that, read the rain barrel effect at the very least, and that's going to give you, I think, a lot of places to be able to start. And you don't have to work with us. Always keep in mind, people don't need to work with me or my practice. It's not what I preach. What I preach is getting results, finding someone that can help you, running these at-home lab tests, and figuring out what the underlying root causes are. And you can have anybody help you with that. It doesn't have to be us. They just have to be qualified. That's it. And just, again, keep it in mind, your PCP is not qualified to do this. It's not their fault. Neither is your specialist. This isn't what they study. Let them do what they do, right? Let them do what they do. Life-saving conditions, acute-based illnesses, fantastic. Let us do what we do. Help people figure out those underlying root causes. All right. Leah's up next. I'm a student of the IHP course. I'm nearly done with level 1 and looking forward to level 2. I'm a 42-year-old mother of 6 with a history of EBV and early Hashimoto's, which I healed through functional medicine testing and protocols. By the way, let me just stop for 1 second. Leah, I too had Epstein-Barr virus, EBV. Mine was more towards than rheumatoid arthritis rather than Hashimoto's. But remember, that's like where genetics comes in. But Monique, listen to what, hopefully Monique, you're still with us because I know you answered your question, but Leah healed her autoimmune issue. It's called Hashimoto's. It's not different. Yes, it's the thyroid versus lupus or rheumatoid arthritis, but they're all autoimmune. They are all autoimmune issues. If Leah healed hers through functional medicine testing and protocols, why can't you, Monique? That's all that I'm asking. Okay. All right, I'm going to step back just because I want Monique to understand you can do this, right? Everyone to understand this. You can do this. You can be that person that beats this. That's the bottom line. All right, let's see. Leah goes on to say, I continue to make gains and rebalancing my body one step at a time. My question today, although I have so many, is about oxalates. How do you manage high oxalate levels? Both my son and I have high oxalates as shown on an OATS, organic acids test, which is our candida, metabolic, and vitamins test. Our green supplement drinks contribute to high oxalates, such as fruit and veggie blends or others. Let's see. I have used Noosan green drink in the past before I knew about Equilibrium Nutrition. Another son, 17 years old, who has not had the oat yet, has similar amounts of blood in the urine with no protein and other imbalances detected. Would the fruit and vegetable blend be okay for his kidneys, even if oxalates are high? I've been told to compensate for high oxalate levels by avoiding high oxalate foods or to take calcium citrate when eating these foods. But I would rather rebalance without limiting so many foods or trying to sneak calcium citrate into everyone's food who won't swallow capsules, especially for an indefinite length of time. What can I do to improve the body's ability to handle oxalates in general and lessen the stress on the kidneys? All right, great question. And love that you are learning with the IHPs, that's Integrative Health Practitioner Institute. Let's find you that show on high oxalates. It's going to tell you about the different vitamins you need, the different minerals you need that your body needs in general. It's going to also show you that sometimes high oxalates could be a signal of high candida overgrowth, which I believe you're working on as well. So I'm just going to have you head over to stevencabral.com/podcasts. And over there, you can use the search box, and you'll be able to actually search and find your answer right inside that. Okay, and if you hit that search box and you type in oxalates or high oxalates, or even high oxalate foods, you will find that on episode 984. So just head on over to stevencabral.com/984 for all of your answers on high oxalates, what to do about them, what that might be caused from, and your ability to move forward, because I certainly don't think that you need to take calcium citrate with every single meal. All right, Bettina is up next. Dear Stephen Cabral, thank you once again for your great podcast. Love them. Just heard an old episode of yours, 540, and you mentioned toothpaste and mouthwash. I was wondering if you tried the toothpaste, Primal Life Organics. If not, I hope you will try it and give your opinion in the future. Another brand for oral care is Living Libations. Would love to hear your opinion on these products as well. Thank you so much in advance, Bettina. All right, Bettina, I will certainly add those to my list to look at, but I have not seen or heard of either one of those specific ones. I did give you a couple mentions on 540 of specific oral care-based routines, but you know what? I will put it into my list right now with the Primal Life ones and the others. I'll actually, just so everybody knows, I'm actually going to be creating a resource page that has come from your suggestions and your wants, which is great. So it's going to be a page that's my favorite blenders and juicers and types of rice that are that don't have high levels of arsenic, favorite toothpaste and mouthwash and floss and like all of those different things, mattresses, you name it. So if you're interested in that, I will certainly be sending out more details on the podcast. It's probably going to take, honestly, I would say 6 weeks to create. And I'm excited to be able to bring you that. Favorite types of clean coffee, basically all the different things that you could want, best suntan lotion, etc. So all of those will be on one page. Really looking forward to that. I've been trying to do it forever. There is one for the rain barrel effect. So if you read the rain barrel effect, you know the little secret URL there. But I'm going to make this a little bit nicer. It's going to have images, all sorts of great stuff I've been meaning to do. All right. Thank you, Bettina. I'll check those out. Lynn's up next. I work with people that will only use standard process supplements. How does the DNS and standard process compare? The argument is that standard process is food and you are not taking anything extra that you may not need. Thanks. Okay, so I've answered the question on standard process many times. If you go to stevencabral.com/podcasts, let's see if we can find that. I'm not sure that I'll be able to look this up right now, but let me just check real quick. All right. We are going to check it out, and it says standard. I mean, I've used standard process in the past. The problem is that the practitioners get paid to use only one brand, and so they only use and promote that one brand. Like if you walk into certain chiropractors' offices, and it's all standard process. Well, here's the thing. If you're only willing to use that one thing, you're not doing the best thing for your patients. That's just the bottom line. I mean, so, and to say that food-based is best is I just know that you haven't. Yeah, there's more levels to reach in terms of education. And that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing because I was there. I was an idealist at that one point as well. And I was like, oh, well, it has to be all food-based. But here's the thing. Many food-based products come from yeast. Is yeast really a food? Like your B vitamins are extracted from mold and yeast. So I'm just throwing that out there. Aspergillus is a form of mold. And that's what many food-based vitamins are taken from. So please don't let marketing cloud your thinking. And whenever it's an extract, it's no longer the food. It's not like they're grinding up oranges and putting them in, the capsules. It's just not what they're doing. They're taking extracts from it. And also, standard process has plenty of minerals that don't just come from food. And again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Our daily fruit and vegetable blend is 22 organic fruits, vegetables, and superfoods. That's what it's meant to be. Our omega-3 fish oil comes from a wild Alaskan pollock. That's the thing is you get it from the best sources that you can. I mean, you can just type in standard process and see previous shows. I have nothing against standard process. I think they make some great products. To only recommend standard process, though, is not what's best for your client, not what's best for your patient. That's for sure. All right. Even though, I own and I set the vision for and I formulate for Equilibrium Nutrition. And I think we probably have 100 products, let's say. But we probably use, 200, 300 in our private practice. That means we use other products as well. Like whenever it comes to a specialty product, a curcumin product, a coenzyme Q, whatever it is, well, we just recommend other products. And that's the thing is because we don't make one, we're not going to recommend. Of course, we wouldn't do that. And that's the thing is I make the products for Equilibrium Nutrition when it can be done better, when I need to for myself or those people in my practice, and also if I can do it at a better price. And that's what I do. Nobody has an all-in-one like the daily nutritional support that Equilibrium Nutrition makes. Not at that price. There's no chance. No chance at all. There are other good companies for sure, and I have used them in the past. All right. Paula's up next. What are your thoughts on mangosteen powder? I've heard it is an amazing superfood with numerous benefits. Yeah, absolutely. I like mangosteen. It's a great one. There are other really nice ones out there as well. So mangosteen, very powerful. Lots of antioxidants, natural anti-inflammatory based benefits to it. And again, there's all sorts of other attributes that people have given it, whether it be for weight loss, whether it be for even cancer. But again, you can't make those specific types of claims, but a lot of people do. A lot of people say it's great for this and it's great for that. I think it's a great superfood. I really do. A lot of people use noni, which is N-O-N-I, or mangosteen. There are other great ones as well. So, do I think it's great? Yes. But it's kind of but there's so many things that I think are great. And is mangosteen the panacea? No, it's not, right? I would rather someone use a 35 IUs per pound of body weight of vitamin D, more like 4,000 IUs a day. And I would definitely rather them use at least a half a gram to 1 gram of vitamin C. And I'd rather they get 15 to 30 milligrams of zinc every single day. It's they need to get those. They need to get their B vitamins. And then they can use these superfoods. But if you're not taking care of your daily foundational, protocols first, then don't. Like, mango seed's definitely not better than omega-3s. It's definitely not better than all your B vitamins or the vitamin E you need for the day. Definitely not better than those things. But if you get those things, you don't need a ton of them, right? You just need what your body needs. And then you want to add on some superfoods, then fantastic. That is how people need to use supplements the right way. There's a hierarchy, and I did a podcast on the hierarchy of supplements if you want to listen to that. So it's basically like I just mentioned before, coenzyme Q10, great, right? I mean, it's fantastic. Alpha lipoic acid, fantastic, right? I mean, look at its work with type 2 diabetes, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the thing, not better than using your vitamin A, your vitamin D, your vitamin K, your B vitamins, right? Not better than all of those. Not better than your minerals, not better than your zinc, your selenium. But after you get those, and again, you don't need to load up with them, you don't need a ton, then you could say, oh, yes, maybe then now I'm 65 years old. I'm going to add in some ubiquinol. I'm going to add in some resveratrol. I'm going to add in whatever it might be. Great. Okay, then that's fantastic. But you don't use those, especially since they're super expensive, over good daily activated multivitamin or the daily nutritional support, for sure. All right, great question, though. I have no idea if I answered that. Oh, yeah, I did. I said it was amazing. Yes, it is. We agree. Okay, let's do one more question today. Michael says, I definitely have onychomycosis and maybe even some slight tinea cruris. I don't even know how to pronounce that last word. Most likely from getting dressed from my infected nails. Could you please direct me where to regain my health? Much thanks. Let me see if I can answer this in the way that you want me to answer it and see if I can even decipher that question. All right. So I think what he was saying was this. Let me try to decipher this. When Michael was getting dressed, he scratched his leg or some part of his body with his nails, and his nails had a fungal-based infection. That's anytime you see mycosis, MYCOSIS. Whenever you see mycosis or myco, you're typically thinking mold, fungus, yeast overgrowth. And so then he became infected with this and now has overall basic made of athlete's foot or jock itch, etc. So here's the thing. I'm not sure that you infected yourself with your nails. You very well may have. You certainly sound like you have at least a dermatitis or skin-based issue, along with maybe some internal-based issues. If you get bloating, if you get any gas, if you get any itchiness around the anus, if you have either constipation or loose stool, you very well may have some type of candida overgrowth or yeast and fungal overgrowth internally, besides the external conditions you have right now. So this is the time to run that candida metabolic and vitamins test. Really straightforward. You could run the stool test along with it or just run that by itself, Michael. So that's what you want to do. And then definitely check out my shows on jock itch. You can just type that in to stephencabral.com/podcasts, or you can type in athlete's foot and you'll see that as well. I'll give you all sorts of different recommendations, from using coconut oil to using tea tree oil to being able to use apple cider vinegar as a pH balancer. And there's a lot of recommendations I can give you. Tea tree oil, apple cider vinegar, foot bath soaks, if that's, besides, I don't know if you're getting jock itch only. So you can use monolaurin. There's lots of different types of recommendations, but let's figure out if it's internal. Because if it's internal, you're always going to end up getting it externally as well. You'll always be more predisposed to it. So Michael, hopefully that was helpful. Thank you everyone for writing in. I appreciate you, and I will be back tomorrow answering more of your questions on tomorrow's Cabral House Call. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing rest of the weekend. Did you know that the body really only becomes sick or imbalanced in only two ways? Over time, you become deficient in vital nutrients, and you also accumulate toxins internally and from the environment. As those nutrients diminish and you increase your total toxic load, your body then begins to show the first signs of dis-ease. It's actually quite predictable, and the good news is that if we know how you began to fill up that proverbial rain barrel, we also know how to empty it to begin the healing process. I was fortunate enough to learn this ancient healing process from my mentor after suffering from debilitating diseases for close to a decade. It was only when I began to implement these techniques did I finally overcome my illnesses and go on to live a life of energy and vitality that I now enjoy. I'd like to share with you now what I discovered after traveling all over the world and how to combine the best of ancient healing wisdom with state-of-the-art science. allow me to teach you exactly how I've been able to help over 250,000 people to empty their rain barrel and begin to transform their body and lives into what they've always hoped they could be. To get your copy of the international bestseller, The Rain Barrel Effect, simply go to stephencabral.com/rainbarrel.